Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be ranking Epic the Musical songs. We're gonna be ranking all 9 sagas and all 40 songs in Epic the Musical. For those who don't know, Epic the Musical is a 40 song music album that tells the story of the Greek mythology Odyssey. Really good, made by this guy who will be presented on the screen. I can never pronounce his name, which is why I'm not saying it. I can never pronounce it right. But he made it did a very good job, and that's what we're gonna be ranking Epic the Musical songs. As you can see, unlike the other tier ranking we did, that I'm probably not gonna touch again because there's just too many of them. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. It's on my channel. It's ranking Hazbin Hotel ships. I just kind of stopped doing that because there's just way too many. I can probably try again with like one that has less ships or that has not as many. That doesn't have like every single ship in the fandom that's known to exist because there's just way too many. But if you guys want to go check that out, there's 2 parts. You can just check my channel. But this time we only have 3 ranks. We'll go over those in a minute. But the reason why there's only 3 ranks is because there is no bad song in Epic the Musical. There's no song in here that deserves a rating of like middle or could be better. They don't deserve that. They deserve they're all so good, which is why there's only 3 tiers, which is S, A, and B. So yeah, that's why. So before I get into the tiers and the rankings, I have a couple things I need to say. First of all, this is based completely off of my own opinion. So if I rank a song that you may not agree with, then some of you may not agree with, please don't criticize me in the comments because that's just my opinion. This isn't based off of facts. It's just my opinion. And then second thing, I will warn that there are spoilers ahead for the musical, as I will be going through each song and what happens in each song before actually ranking them. So if you haven't seen Epic for yourself and don't want to be spoiled, then I suggest clicking off of this video and go check that out for yourself and come back here later, because I will be going through every song and what happens in them before ranking them. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click off right now and check it out for yourself. Don't say I didn't warn you. Without further ado, let's get started. So we'll start with going through the tiers. So for tier 1, we have the S tier, which is I Am Ascending. This is for the songs that are just peak cinema. Like, I cannot get enough of it. Like, I am literally ascending to heaven just listening to this song. So pretty much where all my all-time favorite Epic songs are gonna be. So next we have the A tier, which is Amazing. This is probably where a majority of the songs are gonna be. Is usually the middle tier. So this is probably where a majority of the songs are gonna be. These are for the songs that are pretty good, really like them. I'd listen to them. And they're really good. The reason why they're a step below what songs that would be here is because they don't give the same ascending feeling. Like they don't give the same like emotion or feeling that I get from these ones. So there's that. And then the B tier, which is the bottom tier, is good. These are for the songs that are good. They're okay, I mean, they're good, but they're not like, but what brings them below the other 2 is that they don't give me much feeling, or they're just kind of there just to kind of progress the story, and I don't get any certain like feeling towards them, and they're also just not my first choice of what I would listen to. That doesn't mean that they're bad though, okay? Don't get me wrong, that does not mean that they're bad. They're still really good, and I'd still listen to them. they're just not my first choice, which is what kind of puts them below these two. Alright, so that's out of the way. Now we're going to start with ranking the songs. So starting with Troy Saga, Song 1, Horst and the Infant. So Horst and the Infant is the very first song of Epic the Musical. It pretty much introduces everything. We already start off strong with our boy Odysseus, where he's preparing his men for the war or for the battle they're about to be in. They're in the wooden horse, hence the name, hence half of the name. So they're in there. Odysseus is preparing his men for war, and then within probably around halfway through the song is when it has the fight scene, and then Odysseus has a vision of being killed by someone, but it was just a vision, and then we get Zeus appearing. Yes, believe it or not, we get Zeus in the first song. He explains that it was a vision and that it can only be stopped right here, right now, which eventually leads Odysseus to a child, an infant child, hence the second half of the name. And Zeus explains that in order to avoid what's to come, Odysseus must kill this infant boy. Yes, pretty dark already. And there's no other way around it, and if he doesn't do it, it will not only lead to not only will it lead to Odysseus's demise, but it will also lead to the demise of his wife and son, Penelope and Telemachus. So yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the song, where Zeus and the gods tell him that it's the will of the gods and that he has to do this, otherwise he will not live to see his wife and child. With that said, I'm going to be putting Horst and the Infant in the A tier. Pretty good introduction to the musical. It's got a good beat to it, but it does switch moods pretty quick. Or I guess I shouldn't say pretty quick, but it switches moods pretty noticeably with the war and then with the vision and him having to kill a child. So pretty good overall, and I'm putting it in A tier. Next is Song 2, which is Just a Man. Just a Man happens pretty much right after Horst and the Infant, where Odysseus is seen holding the child and pretty much explaining how the child reminds him of his own son and how he is struggling to bring himself to ending this boy's life. It later leads to how Odysseus is afraid of becoming, let's just say, a heartless monster, or a person who is ruthless. Someone who is not merciful or something like that. Yeah, so he basically just doesn't want to become a heartless being, a monster. That's really the best way I can put it. So basically, and then by the end of the song, he's able to bring himself together, and by the end, he drops the child over the balcony. So yeah, he does end up doing it. Yeah, so that's what happens in the song, and to be honest, you guys, this is probably gonna be one where you guys are probably not gonna agree with me too much on, but I'm actually gonna put Just a Man in the S tier. You heard me, because hear me out, this song is a step up from the first one, because like when I first heard this song, I love it. I can't explain it. It's so good to me. Like, I could literally sing this song all day if I wanted to. Like, it's so good. Especially this part.
But when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? When does a ripple become a tidal wave? When does the reason become the blame? When does a man become a monster?
So yeah, so Just a Man is one of my favorites, and it goes in S tier because I am ascending in that song. I love it so much. Alright, next song is song 3, Full Speed Ahead, which takes place, I don't exactly know how long, but I know it's like at least a few days, pretty sure, after the first 2 songs, where they are beginning their journey home. They are sailing back to Ithaca, and it already starts off with a really good beat, or like with a really good start off with the music. And in this song, we get introduced to 2 important characters, Eurylochus and Polites. Eurylochus is Odysseus's second in command, and in the song, he explains that they need more food. So Odysseus tells them that they will look for islands, and when they find one, they will hunt for more food. And then we see Polites, who spots the island, and then, long story short, Odysseus and Polites decide to go and scavenge on the island. And yeah, that's pretty much where the song ends. Not too much happens in this song. It's really just the introduction of 2 more characters, Eurylochus and Polites, and how they need to look for supplies. That's really it. So, despite the lack of action in this song, it's actually pretty good music-wise. So, because of that, I'm going to put it in A tier, behind Horse and the Infant. Again, pretty good song. It's just, there's not a lot of action in this song, because it's really just them beginning their journey home and having to look for supplies. That's really it. But it's got really good music, really good lyrics. I like it. You get introduced to 2 other characters, which I'm one for character introductions. I enjoy getting introduced to characters and things like that. So it's going in A tier, and yeah, I just think it's really good. Song 4 is Open Arms. So Open Arms is a bit different from the other 3 because instead of it being led by Odysseus, it's actually led by Polites, who, by the way, is one of my favorite characters. I like Polites. He's one of my favorite characters. Open Arms is basically where Polites leads it, and he tells Odysseus that he should lighten up and that he should greet the world with open arms. Quoting the song. Yes, I am quoting the song. And I like it a lot. I like Polites' character. I like how he is like all sunshine and rainbows. Cause like you've always gotta have those characters in those in stories like these. Like there's always a character that's all like everything's happy, everything's great. Yeah, and I like it. That's what I like about Polites, is that he's just so happy and so sunshine and rainbows with everything. I just I love it. It's amazing. And he's so innocent compared to the others, and it's amazing. That's why I love Polites so much. In Open Arms, back with Open Arms and what happens, they end up running into these cute little creatures who just, they're so adorable. Like the people who animated the musical, and there's like these little creatures, they drew them so well and so cute. Like I freaking can't. But like, so they get introduced to those, and they're lotus eaters. And eventually, the lotus eaters lead them to a cave that's east of the island that they're on. And yeah, the song ends with Polites being able to successfully, in a way, get Odysseus to agree with Polites on greeting the world with open arms. And that's where Open Arms ends. With that, Open Arms is a step ahead, is like a step above Full Speed Ahead, in my opinion. I'm still gonna put Open Arms in A tier, but I'm gonna put it in front of these 2 because it's really good. It's very cheery compared to the others in a way, like with Polites leading it. Very cheery. But again, it doesn't give me like an ascending feeling or much emotion song-wise, which is why it's not an S tier, but it's as of right now, it's in front of A, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like one of the first few in A. Yes, I'm gonna try and do this in the order that I like. So some songs, so yeah, it's gonna, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Open Arms is gonna go in the front of A tier. Really good. Probably like My second, definitely like either my second or third favorite. It's one of my favorites in the Troy Saga. Alright, now for song 5, last song of the Troy Saga, Warrior of the Mind. Warrior of the Mind, we immediately get introduced to Athena, who leads this song. Athena leads Warrior of the Mind. And again, Athena is another one of my favorite characters. She is my girl. I love Athena. I love her. Unfortunately, though, she does not get too much screen time in Epic. Most of her screen time is in Wisdom Saga. So yeah, other than that, she does not appear a lot. Like I said, I told you guys there's gonna be spoilers. I warned you in the beginning, so please don't tell me that I didn't warn you. But yeah, Athena doesn't get too much screen time outside of Wisdom Saga. So her appearances are more rare. But yeah, Warrior of the Mind, we get introduced to Athena, and she pretty much says the exact opposite of what Polites just said to Odysseus. It's a really good song, though. It's got a really good beat. The singer for Athena is really, really good. All the singers of Epic are really good. What am I saying? Every singer, every voice actor in Epic is a really, really good singer. So, like, and Athena just goes over the top. Like, I can't. So, yeah, Athena pretty much explains the exact opposite of what Polites said on how he needs to be a warrior. He needs to get it done and things like that. He needs to be, just exact opposite of what Polites said. And the song ends on such a good note. So yeah, with that, I'm going to put Warrior of the Mind in S tier behind Just a Man. It's got a really good beat. Athena sings it and delivers it so well. I love it. I just don't know if I like it more than Just a Man, though, because Just a Man has a more emotional feel. And yeah, so I'm not sure which one is greater than the other. So I'm just going to put Warrior of the Mind in S tier behind Just a Man. I might change it later, depends, but, you know. So Warrior of the Mind goes in S tier. Really good. Alright, now we are on Saga 2, Cyclops Saga, with Song 6, Polyphemus. Now, Polyphemus is basically, they've arrived at the island, and there's a lot, and it's full of sheep, because the song opens with where you immediately just hear a whole bunch of sheep bleating, and then Odysseus strikes down the sheep, and then they're like, where did all this food come from? Why did they lead us here? And then Odysseus is a little bit skeptical, and then right after he mentions how it's strange, I guess, like it's almost too perfect, we get introduced to the Cyclops, Polyphemus, hence the name of the song. And it basically goes on with how they killed his favorite sheep and now they're going to die. He's going to kill them. After his little verse of how he's gonna kill them, Odysseus, on the other hand, is like, we didn't mean to. We're just travelers. And he offers a deal where, in exchange for the sheep, they'll give him the finest wine. The Cyclops drinks it, and basically he asks for Odysseus' name, and Odysseus responds with nobody. But in the end, however, the Cyclops says that he will be the last one to die. So it didn't really work out as planned. And then it leads directly into the next song, Song 7, which we'll get into pretty soon. With that said, Polyphemus, I'm actually just going to put in B tier for good, because it doesn't have a beat to it. It doesn't have much of an emotional feel. It's just, I feel like it's just there to just kind of continue the story, I feel like. Like I said earlier for B tier, I think that song is really just there to just continue the story, keep the story going, and because there's no strong beat to it really. There's no emotional feel until like the very, very end of it. So yeah, Polyphemus is just gonna go in B tier for good. So yeah. And then, like I said, it leads directly into the next song, which is Song 7, Survive. Survive is a whole, let me just say, Survive is a whole step ahead of Polyphemus. because it went from like calm to like confusion and worry to like complete like action. And it's amazing, honestly. The trend, how you're able to like transition from one song to another like that. And it starts off so strong too. It starts off with a really good beat and a really like, they're gonna have to fight. This is a big battle. It portrays it so well. So basically, like Horse and the Infant, Odysseus is preparing his men for battle to fight the Cyclops. And then we have the chorus part, which is, oh my god, it's peak cinema. Like, I think you can already tell by how I'm describing this what tier this is gonna go in. I'm gonna finish explaining it. So, and then Odysseus is, after the first chorus part, Odysseus is telling his men what to do, on where to strike him, what to do, and things like that. Being the good leader, the good captain that they need. And yeah, and then it leads to the second chorus, which is led by the ensemble, or in this case, the soldiers. So good. Freaking love it. But then Survive ends on a very sad note, and it gets super emotional really quick. If you guys remember Polites, yeah, there's like a bit of a musical number, and then freaking Polites gets hit with a club and then dies. Polites freaking dies in this song, so it gets emotional super quick. Like, and then Odysseus is just left standing there, horrified at the sight of his best friend being killed. And then it's the Cyclops' time to go on the chorus on how he will kill every single one of them until his pain is over. But then, right as he is pretty much... But then, he collapsed to the floor and pretty much falls asleep. And that's the end of the song. Yeah. Survive? Oh my god, like, it's peak cinema. You guys already know where it's going with how I explain it. It's going the very front of S tier, because it has everything that would put it in S tier. Good beat, and then it gets emotional. The amount of time it takes to get emotional is like, it's a snap. It's so quick. Like, you're sitting there bobbing your head to the beat of the song, and then all of a sudden, you just hear the club hit someone, and Polites just, it gets so emotional so quick. And like my god, like, I got so emotional when that happened. So yeah, Survive, peak cinema, immediately going in S tier. There's no reason why it wouldn't. There's no reason why it wouldn't be up there. So, yes. Alright, now for song 8, Remember Them. This song takes place a bit after Survive, and Eurylochus is able to break Odysseus out of his, like, episode of, like, oh my god, my best friend is dead. Because you hear him yelling Captain at least 4 times, I think. And then Odysseus, oh my god, I cannot speak. I am so sorry. Odysseus immediately gets into action with how they have to they have to get moving. And he explains that he put Lotus, unknowingly to the Cyclops, put Lotus in the wine, which is why the Cyclops collapsed on the floor. So, Remember Them is basically them focusing on escaping, and then Eurylochus asks what they're gonna do with the fallen soldiers, and that leads to Odysseus saying to remember them, which also leads to the chorus of the song, which is really good, by the way. Probably one of the best parts of the song is obviously the chorus. It's really how it is for every song. So yeah, that's so it eventually leads to them stabbing the Cyclops' eye, making him go blind. And we're just gonna skip to the end because nothing much really happens after that. At the end, Odysseus decides to give the Cyclops mercy. Big mistake. And by the way, the best part of the song for me right here is like right at the end, where Odysseus is like, you kill my friends, and yet I will spare you. I'm probably just gonna roll the clip.
When we met, I led with peace, while you fed your inner beast. But my comrades will not die in vain. Remember them. The next time that you dare, choose not to spare. Remember them. Remember us. Remember me. I'm the reigning king of Ithaca. I am neither man nor mythical. I am your darkest moment. I am the infamous Odysseus!
Yeah, so that's like my favorite part of the song. With that said, where Remember Them is going to go in the tiers, I'm stuck between S tier and A tier. Like, I don't exactly know where to put it. Because it's pretty good. Like, the only, like, really good part where I'm like, yes, like, or like where I'm like, this is so good is really the end part. But other than that, I'm just kind of vibing. So I think because of that, I'm gonna put it at the front of A tier. Very front of A tier. Because I'm really enjoying it, and then it's really, like, not where I'm like, this is really good until, like, the very end. And I think for it to be an S tier, I'd rather it be, like remain for just the entirety of the song. Kind of like how Survive did. Like, the feelings lasted for the entirety of it. So that's what gets them into S tier. That's a little more clearance there. So yeah, Remember Them is gonna go at the front of A tier. Pretty good, especially in the end. So there's that. Next is the last song, song 9, I think, right? Yeah, song 9. Last song of Cyclops Saga, My Goodbye, which features Athena again. But Athena is not too happy with Odysseus' choice of letting the Cyclops live. Like, she hates it a lot. And this basically leads, it's almost like a breakup song, really. That's where, like, they're like, we're done. We're never seeing each other again, even though they're really only friends. Well, so Athena, if you didn't know, or if you didn't catch on already, is Odysseus' mentor and trainer. It's basically a breakup song with how Athena does not like his actions, and if he's just gonna do that, then she's just gonna leave him. And Odysseus, he explains how he's just fine with that because of how she acts. And then he explains that he saw her as a friend, but not anymore, which pretty good. Like, it's really good. And the song ends with pretty much Athena just disappearing, like, just like that in a snap. So yeah, that happens. Athena left Odysseus, and Odysseus is left on his own hands because she disappears just like that, like without a trace. With that said, My Goodbye is gonna go in A tier, but it's gonna go right here in between. It's gonna go right there. Pretty good. I really like it. It's got my girl Athena, but after this, Athena's not seen until Wisdom Saga, which is like my only probably for me, the only downside of it is that Athena is never seen again until Wisdom Saga. So yeah. Alright, this video is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna leave it at that with the 2 sagas ranked. I will be doing a part 2 very soon. I don't want my videos getting too long. This is already really long, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I will post part 2 soon, so stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you haven't seen Epic for yourself, go check it out. Even if you probably got spoiled this point, which I'm gonna assume if you let yourself get spoiled, you don't mind it, I guess. I'm assuming. But let me know what you guys think. I will make a part 2 very soon. And with that, I will see you guys later. Have a good day.